Okay, this is Sheila Linz, who threw this big shindig in her beautiful original Louis Kahn home with an exception of some additions that were held true to the style of the Louis Kahn.
Well, even the additions, we try to make them fit the way that he would have liked the house to be. You know, we kept the flat roof on the additions and the square angles.
Now, with the flat roof, did you have to make any kind of modifications? Because I know there are some problems with the roofs of the flat roofs.
What we did when we put this roof on, which appears to be flat, it actually has a slight incline so that the rain or the snow is easier to drip off.
Okay.
But yeah, so it looks flat, but it's not 100% flat. It's got a tiny incline.
Which I believe Louis Kahn would like to have these issues fixed, you know.
I'm sure.
With the same original design.
Right. He's up there thinking, okay, now if I had to do that again,
yeah, right.
I would do it a little differently.
Right, a little bit. But because I believe it was all about, affordable, practical homes.
Right.
So, and you also, not only did you throw the art show, you're an artist yourself, and you did, you had 3 works in the show today, and they were all...
4.
4.
I had 4 works.
Oh, why did...
There was a work,
Oh, that's right, the big one when you first walk in. That's right. Hello.
Yeah, that was an older piece.
Is that the same person, though? Who is the person when you first walk in? Because...
She's the person that I used to work with. And I thought she was really pretty, and she had long blonde hair and green eyes. But it seems like I find attractive, like the same type, because it's the same, like a woman with light skin, a round face, high cheekbones, pink cheeks, and blonde, long hair with big blue eyes, slightly slanted.
Right.
It was very specific.
In fact, I thought it was a series of the 3 at first.
Yeah, but it's not. It's 2 women who happen to look very much alike.
That's sort of like my brother's girlfriends. Well, no, his wife now is very much prettier than the rest of all of his girlfriends he ever had. But but on 3 of them, you used mixed media with wax and paint on wax, except for the exception of one, you also used collage.
Well, yeah, that's also wax and paint on wax, but it's cut up pieces that were done with wax, and so it's a collage basically with wax things, and some paint, and I think maybe a little bit of paper. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think there's some paper in there, but I'm not 100% sure. Some of the 3-dimensionality, I think, is paper.
Now, what came first? Was it the portraits here, or was it the abstract?
This style came first, not this piece.
Okay.
Doing abstract, sort of melted, like doing drawings and melting them in wax and transferring them came first.
Oh, okay.
This piece was actually a later piece, but that style came first. And then I'll show you. Then I'll tell you exactly what happened. So I was doing that for a while. And then I decided I wanted to do a portrait, a self-portrait. So it was about 10 years ago, and I was working on this portrait. And I did it by looking in the mirror.
You had that in the Art in the Factory show, didn't you?
Yeah, that's an old piece.
I remember that. It got a lot of it had a lot of excitement around it.
It did? I don't remember that.
I do. I remember hearing a lot of excitement around it.
So, but I think when the artist showed up, they didn't want to let anybody know because I didn't hear anything. So I did a regular portrait, but I have to admit, these are all regular paintings. Somehow, I don't think I'm a great painter. I don't know why.
Oh my
gosh. Somehow, I always think I need something more, and this especially becomes apparent to me when I do a face. And so I did that, and I thought it needed more. And so then I decided, well, what should I do to make this more interested? And since I had already been doing those abstracts with the wax, I thought, well, I can't make it any worse.
Right.
Let me see what happens if I pour wax on this canvas.
Right. Okay.
And I did that, and then I was like, oh, I think I ruined it. That doesn't look good. It doesn't look like what I was hoping it would look like. So then I guess I have to paint on top of it to fix it up again. So that's what I did. But what I did like, the fact that it made me be much looser. because it's actually a very hard surface to work on. It's really hard to work on the surface, and it's very textural. Depends on how the wax goes, and so I had to get much looser. And I like the quality, like this chalkiness or crayon-like quality.
And did you use oil paints on the wax?
Yeah, it's oil. And so I like that, but I didn't do any more for years and years and years. Then I started doing these kinds of paintings.
Right.
You know, like really much more traditional paintings.
Is this Judith? Who is that?
That's me too.
That is you. It sort of reminded me of like the lighting that Judith Namias uses a little bit.
Yeah.
But this is beautiful.
And so then I decided to do a portrait again, and that's when I did this portrait.
Okay.
And the same thing happened. I just thought it just was so stinky. So I covered it in black paint. And then I took like a cloth and I started rubbing out. I let it dry a little bit and then I started rubbing things out. And I really liked it. I thought it would look much better. I thought it was 100% better.
Wow.
Once I did that. And so I thought I would do another portrait for this show. I thought of doing portraits. And I did these. And I did for this one, I did a regular painting first, and then I didn't like it. So then I put brown and black over it, and I didn't like it. And then, okay, well, let me try it with the wax. And then I put the wax on, and then I started painting on the wax, and then I overpainted it too much. And so then I started taking wax. This one took me forever. And then I finally got it to where I liked it.
And it's so beautiful.
And then this one, I just wanted to do another one for the show. And this one only took me like a day and a half. You know, probably I would have kept doing things to it, but you know, this one is not as experimental as that one really. It's because it's not that. It's wax, but it's more traditional looking. But
Right.
It just feels right, whatever it is. You know, it feels. I really like that it looks to me like something made out of clay.
It does look partly sculpted. It's true.
And like wet clay, like it has it's like it's got a texture to it. So I really like that. And then I put this piece in because it does have a little baby's head. It has a little baby, so I thought that fit. And I also
What
really
did you
like
say
it.
the name of it was again?
Baby and Portal to the World, something like
Yeah.
that. He's sort of got a look of horror on his face.
But yet he looks like sort of comforted in a little sheltered zone there.
Something, but it's like, oh, hell's breaking loose around them. But it's interesting and it's pretty and it's got the wax in it and it's complicated. I like doing things that are extremely complicated that nobody in their sane mind would try to do.
And somehow you pull it off.
I do. I like that challenge of doing something that is ridiculously complicated to do and then trying to pull it off. And then that seems to create things that I think are good art. So
Wow.
for me. So I guess I'm the opposite of simplify.
Right.
I'm more like complicate.
Wow, and it really works, but you make it look effortless. The way it looks, so it's supposed to be. It doesn't look. It's complicated in everything that's going on, but yet it all fits together.
Well, that one actually was fairly easy. This kind of work is fast, is really, really fast. And once I know what I'm doing, and I depend so much on accident, but most accidents are good.
Right.
So these go more quickly because when I do this kind of thing, I don't have as much in mind of what I'm expecting. I just like look for things to happen, and I also like I have more control. Like you can see the speed because you have to do this all really fast because you're working with really, really hot wax.
Okay.
You have to throw things down. So I mean, a lot of this is done in throwing. So you get energy just from the speed with which these are done.
Right.
Like that brings its own energy to it, which is almost always nice.
Okay.
So I like that. I could do some more of those. I think I'm going to do some more of those because they're easy.
Immediate gratification is an awesome thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And also just putting up the show together is a complicated thing. You got everybody together, you got it all up, and it was such a great vibe.
Well, I have to thank 3 people. Steve Bowen, Gary Edelstein, and James Hayden. Without those 3 people, I could not have done this at all.
Okay, that is awesome. Thank you so much. I love being a part of this, and it was such a great scene. And the food was very good too.
Same time next year.
All right, cool. On a Sunday, I hope.